Welcome to GCCars. My name is Eric and today I was supposed to show you a 2021 Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum, top of the line, massaging seats, interior, fridge, $130,000 luxury SUV, which unfortunately had to be rescheduled for like the fourth time now. I've been teasing it since summer, but eventually we'll get there. But instead of that, today I'll show you a 2014 Toyota RAV4 LE, so base model. Basically the same thing. No, but thank you so much to my friends for giving me this RAV4 on very quick notice, because YouTube really likes consistency in upload schedules, and I wouldn't have had a car for this week. So they were like, you want to review our RAV4? And I was like, sure, why not? So we're reviewing the RAV4. We'll be a little different. I'm trying to make it a little more funny or weird, I don't know, something like that. And if you're somebody genuinely interested in a RAV4, just quickly note, that's not my expertise, used cars. I'll do my best, but I know more about brand new cars, so just so you know. But as always, we're going to take a look at the exterior, then the interior, then we're going to drive it, and then we're going to sum it up in the final thoughts. Let's start off with the exterior. In terms of exterior, as it's not a new car, I really won't give you much of an opinion on it, so feel free to form your own opinion, and if you want, write it down in the comments below what you think. Obviously, it has aged a little bit in terms of design. It just doesn't compete with like newer cars that much, but that's fine. That's how it goes. Instead, I'm going to bring your attention a little bit to the quirks that are very specific to this RAV4. Because first of all, you might have noticed, I know it's pixelated for you, but if I show you the angle, this license plate is kind of bent backwards. So what happened? Well, this was street parked, and a Honda Element came and thought, you know what, wouldn't it be fun if I would park in front of it and just slam against it? So that was great. And so it was bent a little. And then they parked out the next time they did it again. So they literally slammed into this car twice in 12 hours. And it's just like, of course they didn't say anything either. They just assumed nobody would notice. Like, it's just the whole license plate number, nobody would notice, right? So they thought they hit a curb. Right, and this is a Cadillac Escalade. Anyhow, moving on. The next one we have is here in the back on the spoiler. I'm just going to show you B-roll because you can't really see me right now. I can still look from the side. Hi. So the B-roll, the B-roll shows you this little crack or dent in the spoiler. I've just discovered this one today. So I don't know where it comes from, but it's in a spot where it couldn't have been me. So that's good. And one more spot. Just stay in the back here. If you look at the roof, there's like this aerodynamic dent, you know, it's just like increasing downforce and clearing up the airflow behind. No, like 2 weeks after they bought it, a dead tree decided to just drop part of the tree, let's just say it like that, fell on it and dented the roof just after they bought it. That was pretty fun. Anyhow, oh, by the way, this one is not for sale, just so you know. But let's take a look at the interior, it's probably a little more important here. All right, so taking a look at the interior. First of all, let's start her up. Of course, traditional key. And I want to do that because I'm way underdressed. I want to have the heated seats on. So we have heated seats front, left and right. And the seats, honestly, are pretty comfortable. I'd like a little more lower back support because at least for me, it's like just a tiny bit more would be nice. But other than that, they're nice and soft and comfy. In terms of usability, very good. Like the HVAC controls are right here. You even have a touchscreen with a reverse camera and all that. Of course, it's not the most modern stuff, but it works just fine. And I like this floating, kind of like this floating design here. I think it looks actually pretty good. The clock up there, and honestly, usability is pretty good. And then we have not only one cigarette lighter outlet, but we have two of them. Here's another one down here. Then we have aux port, we have our USB. Actually, this is pretty good. One thing is very interesting if you look at it for now, because this RAV4 was designed in 2013. That's the 2021 phone into the 2013 phone holder. A little bit too big. No, but what I also really like is we have separate couples, so they're not stacked together. So we have one up here and one up there, so they're really not intrusive. You can put stuff or cups in there, and it works really well. You can shift without having any issue or interference with that. So they really thought about how to set this all up. One interesting quirk coming out of new cars all the time is when a new car, when the switch for the windows says auto, it means it goes automatically up. Here it means it goes automatically down, but not automatically up. So The one that says auto goes down all the way if you just tap it once. The other ones you have to keep pressing. It's not a big inconvenience, just something funny I noticed. And yeah, other than that, honestly, it's pretty decent. Like, of course we have a lot of plastics, but the touch points, your cloth, that, all that is softer, and it's super usable. It'll be easy to clean. It's good. Honestly, we got the gauge cluster, big speedometer in the middle, tachometer on the left, fuel gauge on the right. Bit of a screen where you can change the screen to show you different things. While we're at it, average consumption is 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers on this one. I'll show you the MPGs. And yeah, no, this is, I don't have any complaints really. This is in terms of usability, it's spacious. My friends, by the way, they also looked at the CRV from the same time, so like a 2014 CRV. And the reason why I picked this RAV4 was mostly for interior space, because he's a little taller, so he needed a lot of space, and this RAV4 delivered him space. So for example, you can see the cutout here, which I imagine is probably one of the major points. You know, the knee can go over here a little. That's good. So if you're taller, this RAV4 will definitely suit you maybe a little better than some other similar sized compact SUVs from that time. So yeah, even coming from modern cars, really no major complaint here in front. It's comfy, it's usable, that's what matters the most. But let's take a look at the second row, but I'll turn off the car for that again. There we go. Let's take a look at the second row. Okay, second row. And real quick, please excuse if it's not the cleanest and there's stuff in here, but this one is, you know, they live with it and it's being used every day. They go on trips with it all the time. So sorry for that. Unlike press cars, this one is actually being used by people. So naturally it's a little different. But let's start off with the seats. And of course, nobody says this upright. We can recline them, as you would have guessed. Pretty far actually. So we can sit in a very relaxed position. You can barely see my face. Buckle up. And we're good. And no, these seats are pretty comfortable. Just I wish, there we go. I just wish these would go a little higher, because like everything of like my knees and all that and this part of my leg just doesn't have much support. So it would be nice if we had a little more space here, but of course I can just extend my legs and it's better. But if you know, that's a little bit more of a natural position, so a little more support would be nice, but it's not too bad. No connectivity in the back, but we do have cup holders, and we have 2 more cup holders in here, so 4 cup holders total, and we have storage behind the seats. And real quick, storage capacity in the trunk behind the second row, we have 38.4 cubic feet of space, and if we put down the second row, we get 73.4 cubic feet total. So plenty of storage for daily usage. But let's do a quick cut and go driving. Okay, now on the road in the 2014 Toyota RAV4 LE. And as always, we're going to start off with a little acceleration run. I'm not going to launch this, obviously, because this is a car that somebody actually owns, and I don't want to put unnecessary wear on it. We're going to put it into sport mode. Going to slow down a little more than usual, and we hit it. Yeah, decent power. We got a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline 4, producing 176 horsepower and 170 pound-feet of torque. Isn't too much, but it's definitely enough, I would say, and that's made it to a 6-speed automatic, which under normal driving circumstances does its job totally fine. No issues whatsoever with that. Of course, like in scenarios like this, when you're driving a little faster, you will notice that it's, you know, not the quickest to shift if you compare it to modern cars. Like this is still modern to new cars. But no, this is totally fine. You will not have an issue with this. If you just use it for daily driving, it's totally fine. Like I said, we have the sport and the eco mode. Those change a little bit how the steering and the throttle response is. So now if we put into sport, same input in the gas and the throttle. You might have heard it, but we start accelerating now. And eco mode does the opposite, you know, just makes it a little weaker, which is actually kind of nice when you get started, when you get going. It gives you a little more gas, a little more power than I wanted to. It's just a thing of getting used to it. But the eco mode was nice to kind of, you know, ease me into that. And what's interesting coming out of new cars is how long the brake paddle is, essentially, because new cars often have like overboosted brakes. I find they're like really like kind of like an on and off switch, so you kind of get on them and just like instantly have a lot of power. This one you really have to go deep into the pedal to get any significant braking power out of it. It's not a bad thing, it's just something that I am personally not used to, because no car I drive these days feels like this in terms of braking. But yeah, just if you come out of a new car and drive this, just know that you need to brake a lot more than you need, probably like twice as much than you would think. But you know what I really like about these cars? This is the second time I drove it. Originally, when this car was bought, I drove it back home from the dealership. What's really nice about these cars is just how just comfortable to drive they are. Like I said, most cars these days have over boosted brakes, and then the throttle is kind of very aggressive, and the suspension is pretty rough. It's not like bad in new cars, but it's just, you know, sportiness is kind of very in right now. And then you get into this 2014 RAV4, and it's just supposed to be comfortable, you know. It's just supposed to get you from A to B in the most comfortable way, and that's just so nice, so refreshing to have like a car that's just trying to be a car. Of course, as a car enthusiast, I always like cars that are just like to an extent sporty. I don't need to have it in every crossover and every SUV, but it's just, for most people, this will be so nice. And it's just funny that you only have to get a few years back and cars are actually to an extent doing it better than cars nowadays do it. I guess it's just a trend that'll fade eventually, but you know, I enjoy these. I enjoy driving this, especially on the highway. You know, it's just a lot more relaxed in that regard. It's not trying to be like, oh, you want to get power, oh, you want to brake, oh, you want to steer very hard. It's like, no, I just want to go softly from A to B. And that's what the RAV4 here does pretty well. Does it have a lot of power? No, it doesn't. Does it have like any sporty aspirations if you want that? No, it doesn't, but that's not why you buy a RAV4. A RAV4 is to get you from A to B in a comfortable way, and this certainly does that. I'm almost talking about the final thoughts here, though. I just want to quickly mention a few more things. We have the stereo system in here is okay. I didn't have an issue with it. Like, if you buy this RAV4, if you're looking at a used car, you'll be totally fine with this. I don't think there's anything to complain about. Of course, there's better systems out there, but it's totally fine. You can use the infotainment system to connect your phone via Bluetooth, and use that to play your audio. Like you said, you have the aux, you have the radios and all that. So plenty of ways to play media, and you'll be definitely satisfied with the quality that comes out of the stereo system. Other than that, while we're here in stop and go traffic a little bit, this, like I said, a little eager to get going if you're driving in the regular mode. If you go into eco mode like I do now, it's a little softer to get going. You know, it doesn't give you as much power instantly. It's easier to be smooth out of a stop, which is nice. And in general, I don't really like the eco mode. It's a little too subdued for me. If you go into second gear and higher, now it's just like I want to have a little more power. I want a little bit more power. It's got eco mode, and there we go. There's my power. Perfect. No, but this drives nicely. Okay, but I don't want to keep this too long. This is just a quick review, mainly for the algorithm, really. But so I think let's just send it off to the final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts on the 2014 Toyota RAV4 Limited. And this was a bit of a different review for me, so I hope it was still entertaining and it was still informative for you. If you, by the way, are a used car buyer that just found my channel, let me know what it did good and what it didn't do good. Like I said, first time I ever reviewed a used car, so let me know in case I review more used cars, although it's not currently planned, but you never know. Anyhow, but yeah, how do I like this RAV4? Honestly, it's pretty good for what it's made for, and what it is made for is to get you from A to B without any hassle and pretty comfortable. That's like I said, doesn't have any. It's not like the most attractive car. It's not meant to wow people. It's not meant to like be driven hard on a canyon road. It's an appliance first, and at that it excels. It is really good at that. Like I said, it's comfortable. The interior is usable. The interior is pretty good, and the looks honestly aren't that bad either. I think it held up decently well. Now, one thing, of course, as a used car, warranty and maintenance is an important thing, and Toyota, the RAV4 is pretty bulletproof. It's pretty decent in terms of reliability, and of course, with about a gazillion of these on the road, if you need like spare parts, if anything breaks, there'll be so many spare parts, so it shouldn't be hard or expensive to get them. And also, just a quick more note, safety is overall pretty good, but this was designed just like a year or two before the IIHS created the small overlap test. So the refresh that came in 2015 or 16, I forgot which year it was, that's significantly better in that. So just something that you know that in terms of like small overlap crashes, so if you crash something here instead of the whole front, this won't perform as good as later models, just so you know. But other than that, no, honestly, pretty good car. I can see why so many people buy it. And just one thing right now, price, COVID pricing in Toronto, $20,000 Canadian, is quite frankly pretty ridiculous. And if I remember correctly, they bought it for significantly less, because at $20,000 Canadian, you pay 8 or 9 grand more and you get a brand new RAV4, like brand new off the factory floor. So yeah, I guess the price will come down in a year or two. But right now, that's pretty expensive for what you're getting. Anyhow, it's getting pretty cold out here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. If like I said, if that's the first video you ever seen of me, I do car reviews every single week, and of new cars. Mostly, yeah, only new cars. And we got everything from like compact cars and budget cars to luxury cars and sports cars, 600 horsepower AMGs, like I said, Escalades, and we got it all. So if you like cars, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.